Hello and welcome to Level Up Africa. This is advanced Unity game development training. Level Up Africa will offer advanced Unity game development training for students in the African continent in 2024. The goals here are to offer Unity-specific training for career-ready professionals. We'll be training local teams so they can continue to offer ongoing training. And we'll leave a legacy of learning materials for the African partners to continue educating locally. Level Up Africa is now actively seeking funding and grant support for educational programs. Some of the opportunities include potential partners on site who can bring the students and the communities and offer teaching venues, as well as corporate sponsors. There's an opportunity here to extend your reach into this emerging market through direct support of the training. Welcome to the Advanced Training for Unity. An issue here is that many junior game developers in Africa lack the experience and expertise for confidence, organization, and scalability in their Unity game development. The capacity and output of these teams is limited by this, so competing on the global marketplace is more challenging. The takeaway of this course is that students will be more confident in their Unity workflows. We'll look at how to best utilize design principles and design patterns. We'll learn to create and package custom APIs and systems to share within our own team or to create products. We'll employ scalable architectures for these projects and implement stable, maintainable projects through unit testing and more. We'll focus on Unity as a professional game development toolset. The game industry is large and growing. Unity is a versatile game engine which can be used for creating simulations, prototypes, and of course games, targeting many different popular platforms. The game industry is very large and growing year over year. And just within the Mideast and Africa, in 2022, the industry was over 7 billion US. Those who are playing games are playing more games in their leisure time year over year. And within the gaming industry, for game developers, Unity is a top tool. Over 70% of the top mobile games played on iOS and Android are created with Unity. You can use it for 2D, 3D, VR, and more across a variety of different industries. Let's take a look at a trailer. Some of the essentials for Unity game development are including UI, input, audio, graphics, animation, and of course scripting, either visual scripting or using the C# programming language. A game can have many subsystems, but seeking out these 6 major areas within a game development training program allows game developers to offer tremendous value to their teams. Unity has a ton of features built in. Some of the highlights are shown here. And along with the Unity editor that offers the game development application features, we have a wide variety of services that teams can choose to augment their backend capabilities, as well as monetization models. For the Level Up Africa program, I will be the primary instructor. I am Unity certified with over 20 years of experience in the industry. My mission is to educate and entertain with interactive technology. And I've shipped titles for tons of different platforms through Unity, including iOS, Android, mobile, Steam, multiplayer titles for console, and more. My career experience spans creating commercial titles as well as educational materials and teaching online, on-site, and at major US universities. Recent educational experiences have been creating sample projects, videos, and other training materials specifically for the Unity platform, connecting games to the blockchain, backend technologies, and creating multiplayer experiences. And with the Level Up Africa program, we're just getting started. We've got content that we've created connecting together with local African developers and influencers, talking about everything relating to Unity, from how to get a job in Unity, everything about using the editor, scripting with programming and visual scripting, as well as what's next on the roadmap for Unity. The target audience for the Level Up Africa program includes those in the African continent. Some of the key issues here about Africa within STEM compared to Europe or North America is that the access to technology varies quite greatly. Within Northern and Sub-Saharan Africa, there is limited access due to the infrastructure challenges and high costs in many rural areas, as well in some key cities. Internet penetration as well is varied, and there's stark differences in digital literacy. Overall, we see that the economic disparities in the African continent greatly impact the technology adoption. Much of this compounds the issues when the educational resources for new development teams and business professionals is not there competitive on the global space. And at the heart of the Level Up program, we see that junior developers in Africa lack the experience and expertise to build with confidence, organization, and scalability. So this impacts both the capacity of individuals as well as teams, and impacts how those teams can compete in the global marketplace. Having more opportunities for these teams will attract more game development work that stays in Africa, being able to create and tell unique game experiences from African cultures through business opportunities in Africa and abroad. So to answer some of these challenges and deliver on the promise, Level Up Africa will offer advanced Unity game development training to the continent. The targets for this training are existing game development professionals already using Unity. What we see is that in the ladder of professional game development, moving from the beginning phase, maturing into a senior developer and management role requires additional training. This training includes many things, from building upon the fundamentals of OOP to design patterns, learning abstraction, creating more modular frameworks, and then being able to augment stability and maintenance with more testability, and then looking at architectures that can help bring all of this together. The exact course contents are still a work in progress, but some of the highlights we want to focus on is giving a fundamental introduction to Unity, filling in some knowledge gaps for those who are participating in the course. Then a deep dive into software design, looking at design principles, design patterns, how to diagram and communicate those ideas with UML, and then architecture specifically for Unity game development. There'll be some opportunities as well for special topics. This is an evolving space, but some of the things that we think offers the most impact are being able to train developers to build and extend and share APIs, packaging things for their own use, for third-party use, and for selling them as products on the Unity Asset Store, for example, as well as key technologies like using the UI toolkit and doing editor scripting to help build out those team workflows. There's lots to cover inside unit testing to build confidence and scalability and maintainability to those projects. And there'll be some opportunities as well to look at the next steps and road mapping of the technologies so teams are aware of what the vision for the future of this tech is. The Level Up Africa program will follow a tech model covering theory, editor use cases, as well as coding, of course. The technological requirements here are purposefully lean. We'll be using a web browser and the Unity editor as the core fundamentals for educating and for practicing what we've learned in the workshops. We're targeting intermediate and advanced developers, those who are already professionals working in the industry, thus those familiar with key fundamental programming technologies within Unity. For the course format, we've got two different flavors. Some teams are able to offer dedicated time to their community or their coworkers in being able to block out a more intensive program. But first, we can do a nights and weekends program so that those teams who choose to embrace this, for example, offering this training to their own community or their own team of workers at the companies, will be able to do something continuing full-time work while offering this as a nights and weekends program. We may be able to start some of the training in the afternoons, so the benefit for the individuals is that some of their workday includes the paid training, and then there's an ask for them to do a bit more at nights. So we're going to still take a look at that, and each potential partner is going to be able to shape that the way that works best for them. And secondly, for teams who can do it, we'll have the same level of training covering the same topics, but in an intensive format. So this would probably be a week off of production work for that team, and they would get something like a Monday to Friday full intense experience to get all that training in more quickly. So the intense and the standard programs offer some flexibility for each team to choose what works best for them. Funding requests are underway and pending. The rough timeline here is that requests are going out for the Q3, Q4 in 2023. We're hoping to land some funding delivery in the Q3, Q4 timeframe as well, starting in September. And we want to offer this course throughout the African continent in the beginning of 2024. The locations for the course is a work in progress. So far, networking has generated a tremendous amount of interest, and different potential partners who offer their communities or their own coworkers, or even bringing together the offering of venues to offer the training. These are all things that are being in discussion now, and a lot of it depends on the pending funding that comes in. Some of the areas that we're focusing on is to offer on-site training or remote equivalents in Cairo, Nairobi, Lagos, as well as Dar es Salaam and Cape Town in South Africa. The potential opportunities for partners in each location is vast, and we're still in discussions figuring out exactly how and when we can meet the needs of each of these partners. The course budget has been prepared and will be delivered to each corporate sponsor that is interested, as well as the potential partners separately from this presentation. The considerations are the course planning, as well as building the materials, which again will be part of the legacy left to each team so they can continue their own education moving forward. We expect to have some per course, per student tuition as well, that depending on the level of sponsorship could be very inexpensive for the prospective student or even free for the student through scholarship. To learn more and to act on this opportunity, please contact me. We're looking for corporate sponsorship to help bring this education to more people, as well as on-site partners who could offer communities who need this training, employees who need this training, as well as those who can offer some sort of venue or marketing support on the local level to help us get the word out and help us host these events around the cities that we want to focus on. Thanks very much. This is a project that we care deeply about, and those of us who are working hard on this are very excited to gain more support.